So it's 8 a.m. the next day. Got the motor ready to go back in, minus one coil. I just need that coil out because the chain kind of goes right there. But put the timing cover back. Put the timing cover back on. So the RTV had kind of a night to seal up. There's no oil in the engine yet. I'm not going to put oil in it until very last minute. So that RTV and that epoxy on that plug has all the time in the world to kind of solidify a little bit. But other than this, I got to put these couple clamps on, otherwise I'll have coolant everywhere. But I believe she is ready to go in as far as I want to put everything on the engine, I guess. I think I'm going to take off the thermostat housing just so I can get a little bit more room for these top trans bolts, which are kind of a pain in the butt, but that's alright because we got to get it in there one way or another. I just want to take a moment and thank my neighbor for getting me this Pittsburgh Harbor Freight engine hoist to borrow and the Pittsburgh Harbor Freight engine stand. And while I got the Harbor Freight Pittsburgh jack stands, and then I've got the Pittsburgh Harbor Freight jack, we're living on only quality components here, guys. So you know, shout out to my non-sponsor Harbor Freight, and let's get this puppy in and hopefully off these jack stands so my car doesn't fall for no reason. Oh yeah, it's time to come off the stand. That's a lot of dangling money, I'm not gonna lie, but time to slide her over, move my trash out of the way, and then the garbage bags also, you know, this is the actual trash here. Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that little quick time lapse. Basically what I did was, the engine isn't completely in by any means, but I kind of used some of the trans bolts, kind of guided in, pull it in a little bit, and then I realized I needed to loosen them up a little bit so I can get this engine mount on, which is, let me turn on a light here for you guys, which is right there. And now it's just finagling all the trans bolts in, and then I got to put those, there's some 15 mils that go to the top of the trans mount right there. Put those on, and she should be good to get rid of the hoist. I mean, I could probably get rid of the hoist now if I put on those 15 mils, but you know, better safe than sorry when you're working with Harbor Freight, I guess. Well, boys, we got a little something for the tour ass.
Yeah, so let me get out of it.
You're down the way. So these are actually my buddies for his V. We just thought it'd be funny to prop him up in front of the Taurus wheel here. But that'd be pretty sweet to have 4 welds, but I'm not big balling like that. Those are super nice. So I got stranded about an hour and a half from home today, and I've already cleaned off this trans with some brake fluid. But this is my old work vehicle, and the shifter linkage not quite attached anymore. So luckily I was able to shift it by hand and get it in and drive just so I could get it home. But I want to show you guys what a 300,000 mile EcoBoost has in her. Watch this. Clean rag. You can already see she's juicy in there. Just oh yeah. Yep. Tasty. This thing is filthy disgusting, and it's got so many issues, but it won't die. It just won't die. So it's been quiet for a reason, and this is exactly it. So there was a plug behind the water pump that produced low oil pressure, and we had fixed that. Unfortunately, after putting the motor completely back together and back in the car, low oil pressure still persisted. We did put a mechanical gauge on it. It's chilling down there. And unfortunately, we've still got the same problem of low oil pressure. The oil pump was replaced with a brand new OEM one and then warranted for another one. There is a few different things that has been done, like the oil pressure switch and the O-ring to the oil pickup. However, there's something odd going on that we just can't quite put a finger on it. Unfortunately, I think that it might be the seals to the variable valve cam timing. I think that there might be some oil pushing out past that, but it's hard telling. And we're going to do some things. We're actually going to take it back down to the bare block, and we are going to do a few more things that I wanted to do while double checking everything, make sure that there is absolutely no damage, and making sure everything is good to go in that side of things. That being said, we are definitely a couple months out now again, but I would rather, take my time instead of kind of rushing through it like I did. And yeah, let's just say I'm tired of it. So that's why I've been quiet. I kind of took a week to do a little bit of nothing, and yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of over it. This car has kind of, this car has beaten me to death, and unfortunately, my mental state because of it was not very good, so I decided to take some time. But with all that being said, when I was pulling it out, dinged the hood. Can't really tell on the outside, but there is one tiny spot. Let's see if I can catch it in the light. Can't even, oh yeah, it's right up, right there. So I got a little dinger for my buddy at PDR to fix up when the car is finally running. But about the upgrades. So I used OEM main studs for this, and while I'm in there, I'm going to update that to some ARP head stud type stuff. And then the heads, like I said, I've been waiting to do a full port and polish and cams and all that stuff. But despite these being cleaned at the machine shop, I did notice that they do have a bit of, kind of hard to tell, a bit of carbon in them, so going to do a full carbon cleaning while the heads are off. Figure just kind of optimize what we've already got going. The car does have methanol in it, and that'll keep the heads clean. Just definitely using it for cooling and cleaning, not supplementary fueling anymore. But yeah, I'm pretty tired of it. We've got everything off, got the gearhead Gen 3R turbos off, we've got the fuel injectors out. I'm going to put those in a bag once they've dried up a fuel, and yeah, a whole lot of nonsense. But I'm going to tear it down and make sure that there was no bearing damage, or hopefully there's not like a spun bearing or anything like that causing the low oil pressure. I did source, like I said, that plug. We had to jam a 17 millimeter expansion plug. Well, I guess an expansion plug isn't a proper term, or freeze plug. It's kind of hard to really say what exactly the term is because it's for oil now. But anyways, that was done, and I don't think it's that plug anymore, but I have got an OEM one that goes in there. I was able to track down the manufacturer number and then get an actual part number from Ford. So with that being said, hopefully that will be 100% perfect. And then I've got the variable cam timing seals. I think that this might have been the issue, is we were losing oil pressure from the seals. This spins, and then there's I think 3 on each of these that are, they're kind of like a piston ring type of seal. And it said to just inspect, and if they were in good condition, just to reuse, and I did. And I'm hoping that isn't the issue, but I have those as well. But quite frankly, other than that, we are pretty confused at what it could be. So my engine builder is coming to pick up the engine. He's a really good guy. He's worked with me through this. He's came over several times. He wants to make sure that this is 100% good to go, and I really appreciate his help. And I was there the entire building of the block, and everything was done perfectly into OEM spec. And yeah, I don't know. It's odd. I'm kind of upset with the car. Quite frankly, I could scrap it and not really care anymore. And definitely looks for some other projects, but it doesn't help to have this car non-running, and it's not worth anything to sell. Jeez, I literally just keep hitting the exact same stuff over and over. I knocked over all those bolts out of that tray. But with all that being said, in for a fun time. So I've been letting the oil drain out of this, and don't worry, the oil did not look like that coming out. There's older junk in there, as you can tell by the slime on it. But the oil came out clear, no glitter, and while it had low oil pressure, that doesn't mean that it had no oil pressure. So we had oil coating things. It's just it was enough to throw a code. So when we first cold started it, it just absolutely slammed up to 60 psi, and then after about a minute it went down to 40, and then after another minute it went down to 30 as it's warming up, and then it went down to 20, and so we shut it off. And this is just a cheapy O'Reilly's oil gauge, and still mechanical gauge, and we had that hooked up, and for some reason we thought maybe it was a faulty gauge because it hadn't thrown the code yet, and then put in not the code, hadn't I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, we put the switch back in, and it still popped up just in case we were trying to see if that gauge was faulty. And yeah, fun times. But anyways, we've got a lot of stuff going on here in the next couple months. Hopefully we can get her up and running and making over 600 all-wheel horsepower. The transmission is definitely not up for the job. I know everybody keeps asking me what I'm doing with the transmission, and quite frankly, nothing. It's kind of one of those things that it is a replace as it breaks kind of situation. So I'll be doing a transmission eventually, but we've got the gearhead torque converter in there, and yeah, the transmission leaks anyways itself. So yeah, I don't know. So I'm hoping between the torque converter and the trans cooler that it'll be a hopefully a little bit more lasting than it would be if I didn't have those two things. But anyways, I figured I would update you guys on the motor. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of over the entire car at this point. It's just been a real big bummer for me this entire time. And like I said, my mood has been kind of piss poor lately because frankly I've been throwing a lot of time and energy into this thing, and I think it's time that I just take everything slow. So I try to get out a video a week, and I've been kind of short falling with that as of lately in the last few months. But it's not because I don't have things I want to show you guys. It's just because, you know, we've kind of hit a roadblock here. But anyways, I figure I'll leave you guys with that. If you guys think you know what it is, leave a comment down in the description below on what we think it might possibly be. I think it's the variable cam timing seals, because that is the only thing that makes sense at this point. And yeah, a whole bunch of fun going on in my garage. But this should be in the engine builder's hands later today, and he's going to do a teardown, and hopefully all is well. If it's not, then we just gotta fix it. It is what it is. I will say that there is something that had been bothering me for a while. On one of these deck surfaces, there was a machining mishap when they were doing a hone. The machine shop that was doing the machining was upfront about it. They said that they will fix it if there is an issue, if I have an issue with it, and it was definitely superficial. But now that we have the motor back out, and I'm going to be stripping it down to bare block, I'm going to have them fix that up. I didn't have them fix it because, like I said, it was superficial, and I didn't want them to have to, send it out, because they wouldn't be able to do the decking surface there, so we'd have to send it back to CSS or another machine shop, which would add a whole bunch of time. And I really wanted to get this thing running for you guys, and I got a couple clips, but we'll get her fixed up better than she was before, and I will see you guys in the next one.